welcome back. We have a new guest today. Her name is Carla. She called me on, I think, the 5th of August of 2021 with a very serious condition. Carla, please tell the listening audience what you were told by the doctors in the ER the day before you called me.
Yes, I went to the ER because I had chest pains in the middle of the night, and it was very concerning. So I decided to find out what it was. So I went to the emergency room, and they wanted to screen me for COVID. I didn't have COVID, but they wanted to make sure and take a picture of my lung. So they took a picture of my lungs, and I'm sitting waiting for the results. And in the emergency room, my private emergency room. And the doctor comes in, and so I immediately start asking questions about, what they found, why my chest was hurting. And the doctor just kind of cut me off. And he says, don't worry about your chest or your lungs or anything like that. He says, you need to worry about that mass that you have on your pancreas. And I was just stunned. I had no idea. And also, I'm very conscious of my health. I'm a health coach. And so I was just really dumbfounded. And he just really said, you need to follow up with your doctor. You need to focus on that. And he walked out. And I was really there just in a stupor, just shocked. And so I was thinking about what had happened to me a couple days prior to that, which I, at the time, just thought it was pure coincidence. But one of my dear friends, Ariana, she had invited me to a clubhouse to listen to you speak, Dr. Vincent. And I didn't know anything about you. I knew you were from Michigan. I'm from Michigan. So I said, okay, I'll find out what Ariana is up to. And on the night that I listened to you facilitate a call in Clubhouse, a woman named Flora, she gave a very powerful testimony about her brother having a mass on his thyroid, on his throat, that was huge, and how you worked with him and got it resolved. And so I had just kind of like packed that in the back of my consciousness, but after the doctor said that, I was like, oh, I've got to call Ariana. I've got to get in touch with Dr. Vincent. And so I called Ariana, and she told me, oh, Dr. Vincent is having a class this weekend. So I just stopped my whole life. I got on a plane, came out to Chicago from South Carolina, where I live, to attend. And that's where I got my first treatment from you, Dr. Vincent. And in the meantime, I started doing other protocols that you had talked me through, and Ariana had told me about the Rain products. And I started doing my own research about the Rain products, and I saw just on YouTube, having really nothing to do with you or Ariana, that other people had testimony about the Rain products and how powerful there was. One of them that really moved me was a woman who had a brain tumor, who was scheduled for a surgery and never got the surgery because the tumor resolved itself. It dissolved.
You know
and
what?
It was
and Carla,
yes.
You want to keep the product's name off this recording initially. I want them to contact us. But however, so you were, not just one doctor told you that you had cancer of the pancreas, another one walked in also and tell them about that doctor.
Absolutely. So after I called Ariana and left a message to try to connect with you, another doctor walked in, and that doctor came in, and he was about having a stress test, because it was initially what they said when they first brought me in. That I needed a stress test, and I was asking him about that. And he said, oh, don't worry about the stress test. You could come back and have it another time. He says, you need to worry about that mass on your pancreas. He said, did they tell you about that? I said, yes. I said, and I am confused. I don't really understand it. I don't have any symptoms. My pancreas works fine. I mean, all my biometrics check out, my A1C, my fasting glucose level, and I don't have any pain. And he said, pain? He says, cancer has no pain. And he turned on his heel and he walked out. So crazy, just craziness.
Now, Carla,
I was curious.
Now, you have a family history of people dying of the cancer of the pancreas. Is that correct?
Right, and I wasn't aware of it at the time. So right after that, I got in touch with my mom, and I just kind of started going through like what happened to my Uncle Jerry, what happened to my cousin Annette, what happened to my great grandmother, and also an uncle. So it was like 5 people in my family who either died from pancreatic cancer or had some kind of severe disease that they ended up dying from that was related to the pancreas. And so I realized that, yeah, I do have a family history, but even to this day, my family doesn't see it as a family history. But the work that you do around breaking ancestral health patterns is profound. And I know, like looking back, I know I got in touch with the right person at the right time because I wasn't even aware that that was a thing, ancestral patterns. But I did later find out that that was going on in my family. And so the good news about my whole story is that that was on August the 5th. I was scheduled to go back to get a section contrasting MRI with a radiologist to check on my pancreas. So this would be the picture where their protocols would be put in place. But this was after 6 weeks of me working with you and the nutritional products that you recommended for me, and you doing your Thoughtapy treatments with me, 2 in person and 3 remotely. Or actually, it was more than 3 remotely, and me doing several protocols that you had designed for serious disease resolution. And so after 6 weeks of doing everything you told me to do, Dr. Vincent, I went back on September 21st, and I got section contracting MRI, and they could not find any mass. The mass was gone.
Now, keep in mind, you had the same cancer that killed the billionaire Steve Jobs, the same cancer that killed Aretha Franklin, the same cancer that killed very wealthy people that modern medicine couldn't do anything for. And I just coached you. I didn't heal you. I coached you. I said, I have a program that I put together for a serious disease program that we won't go over today. There's several things you had to do. And you took these products made from seed.
Yeah.
From seed. But it took some work, and it took some finances. But with the time and energy and the money you spent that 6 weeks, do you think that it was worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was very aware of what it is to have pancreas problems. And I was very scared. I was very nervous. And so I was committed. I did every single thing you told me to do. I made even a calendar, a schedule for my protocols, and got my whole family involved in helping me with it. And it was definitely worth it. Yes, it did cost money, but I'm here and I'm alive and I'm doing well. So money is immaterial, really, when you think about it, when it comes to your health.
Now, you also become a student of mine, and you're becoming good and taking care of pain now, right?
Yes. I have been able to, like you said, support a lot of people in my community, my friends and relatives with dealing with their pain. And at first, I started practicing what you were teaching in class, in person, and then I started doing it remotely. And the treatments that I've been doing with them through Thoughtapy, and also, again, I'm also recommending the same thing that worked for me, the seed technology, the nutritional products that are very high quality, and they have been seeing results. And I'm only a student, since August, and it's just early November. So I feel like my whole life has been changed. I've been able to help people and support people, help myself, help my family, and I feel like my life has been changed for the better. I'm very, very excited about this work.
So you had two months of class. You had a friend of yours who saw surgeons, had a schedule for surgery, 12 years of education versus 2 years of class. they saw surgeons had her prepared for surgery. Was it her knee or something, or a hip, your friend? Tell us about that.
So I have a friend who has a very stressful job, and she called me in the middle of the night, had hip pain, scheduled for surgery, and we had been talking about it. But at that point, I said, "Hey, let me do this treatment on you. Let me try to
over the phone, right? Over the phone,
right?
correct?
Over the phone. Like she lives 1,000 miles from me, and so, and she's not, she's. I don't think she has started the seed or the technology, the nutritional protocol. She was just wanting, to see if this could help her, just the remote treatment. And she was a 6.5. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't lay on her hip. She was flipping around, and that's how we ended up talking in the middle of the night. And after about, I would say 10 minutes, it was gone. And it's been 3 weeks, and it's still at a 0. And it was a 6.5 in terms of a chronic pain in her right hip.
And the pain part was there for years, and you got rid of it in 6 minutes over the phone. Now, is she still scheduled for surgery? What's going on with that?
Yeah, last time I asked her, she was not thinking about surgery. She's done with that. And I feel good because it's like, this was just something that I did just actually to practice what you taught me. Mm-hmm. And it's going to save her. I mean, the surgery was going to take months out of her life and, of course, cost thousands of dollars. And now she doesn't need the surgery. She's fine. No pain.
Now, would you recommend everybody that hearing this conversation that we're having to contact us about the seed nutrition, to contact us about getting trained in this technique?
Absolutely. I mean, so many people out there suffering with pain, chronic disease, and, just like a lot of people in my family, we feel like, oh, we have to take medicine, we have to do, but there are alternate ways, there's alternative methods of caring for people that are available and affordable and doable, and also brings the power of our health back into our hands. So I highly recommend it. I recommend it to anyone who wants to be well, who wants to get out of pain.
So you had something that causes a lot of death. That's 1 out of 9 people make it. Something that a billionaire Steve Jobs money could not correct. Something that a woman worth $20 million money couldn't correct. And you did it yourself through coaching by me having you do some things that took some work, time, and money. You did the work, spend the time and the money, and you got your life back. How does it feel getting your life back without having the C word attached to you?
Oh, it feels good. I feel victorious. I feel confident. And it makes me want to spread the word, because I feel like a lot of people are unnecessarily suffering because they don't know about this. Mm-hmm. They're not aware of you or Thoughtapy or the seed nutrition, and really it's the missing link to people being more empowered about their health. So I feel good.
And I'm going to have the owner of the company today on this program. And I want him to go over, when I called him with you, what should you do? He said, do these twice a day. And I didn't know what's going to happen because of why. I get phone calls from people, very well-known people, that have this disease, and I tell them, I have nothing for you. But I was new in the seed company, only about a month in the company. When you called me, I asked them, what can we do for her? And he said, Dr. Vincent, we had people that had brain tumors that did these products, and they can't find them anymore. So I asked her, I think that you was on the phone with me when I called them, what can she do? And you did it. And now you have a testimony. I want to thank you, Carla. Thank you. And
thank you, Dr. Vincent.
You're an excellent student. Keep on learning. Okay, thank you, Carla. Thank you.
Everyone wants to be healthy, and we should be. Our creator designed an amazing, complex system intended to allow our body to heal itself if we give it what it needs. For example, if you cut your finger, it bleeds, a scab forms, and it heals. However, when our body does not receive what it needs, it begins to talk to us. It talks to us through symptoms or physical manifestations of disease. So, if your body is talking to you, you need to listen to Dr. Michael Vincent. Start your wellness journey today. Visit Dr. Vincent's website at www.vincentclinic.com or dial toll-free 888-842-3935 or 888-84-BEWELL. Be well